This video is sponsored by Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a subscription-based service sending you an assortment of exclusive collectibles, figures, apparel, and other cool geek gear delivered right to your door. For more information, check out lootcrate.com/JaganX or follow the link in the description below. If you decide Loot Crate is right for you, don't forget to give yourself a sweet discount by making sure you enter the promo code JaganX to save 20% off. Thanks guys, and enjoy the rest of the video. Hey guys, welcome to another session of RBTL. So we got some sneak peek here, Tuesday August update preview, giving us a kind of a heads up on some of the changes they're gonna make to the challenge section. So their main like concern was that people who did the challenge went in using energy and they didn't really want to farm it. So us as players, we didn't want to farm it. Like if it's a good artifact, we farm max limit broken, but then that's it. And so they're changing a couple things. One, giving you disadvantages and advantages as seen in the picture here for using certain classes, certain heroes, and the advantages and disadvantages will change per event, I believe. You know, the more you go with advantage, the more points you rack up apparently, and that way you get more of technically event currency, or so wisdom's gauge. So basically the whole thrust is for people to build new heroes, come up with new strategies in order to get the best benefit. So I think with this new system, you know, you need to get higher score for more wisdom's gaze. So that's the currency you'll use throughout this new system. You will be building the following heroes, or you know, classes or elements, you know, based on the advantages and disadvantage rules set before the event, which is kind of cool. And also entering the event won't require energy anymore. So they're saying that you know, people just rather run hunts and whatnot, which is true, 100% true. I mean, one of the biggest things to grind in this game is like hunts. So instead of wasting energy, especially for free-to-play players or people who don't, you know, have the resources to refresh their energy, instead of doing that, they're giving a new type of entrance. So this token is distributed weekly, but then you can also buy it. You can also purchase them. Now, whether they're being purchased through Leafs, through Skystone, I'm not quite sure yet, but most likely one of the two. Yeah, it's just in case for people who want to farm it a lot apparently. So another thing is that the wisdom's gaze will be also used. So the currency that you get from these events will be also used to purchase your exclusive equipment. We'll be able to purchase the, you know, whatever new hero or artifacts they may come, like those limited ones that may come along our way. So this new system here, we're just discussing on stream. It's basically a very cool little aspect for Smilegate to implement for people who think that heroes need buffs. So instead of, like, let's say changing their entire like star sign or whatever, which is just a massive amount of rework because the stats are locked to the horoscope sign, to the star sign. You know, let's say like I was just saying, like if Rose needed like more base speed, instead of like giving her a new star sign, maybe possibly she might have like a speed equipment. So basically you need to have a 5-star awakened hero. So obviously the hero needs to be promoted to 5-star and 5-star awakened in order to equip this thing, this exclusive equipment. Each one has a different effect for the skills, and apparently you can choose one of the 3 listed. Now Destina is the only one that is previewed right now, but they said that the Chloe, Rose, Destina, and Wander Silk's exclusive equipment will be added to the 22nd update, so by this week. So that's pretty cool. But basically Rose, Chloe, and Wander Silk right now, we don't know what they do, but it gives a random value every time you actually purchase one of them. It gives a random value of, let's say for Destina here, effect resistance 8 to 16. And then you can choose, it gives you also a random skill. But apparently like afterwards, it will be released in the Alchemist Steeple and you can craft it. So basically what you need to do is you need to farm multiples of it. It takes the actual exclusive equipment as the crafting material itself to craft for the better version of your exclusive equipment, unless you already get like, you know, the max amount of effect resistance and the exact skill you want like right away. You will need to craft, or you will need to farm for multiples in order to craft the max level one with the skill you want. So once you get it to Alchemist Steeple, so I think it's newly released exclusive equipment will not be available to craft, but rather a new set will be added, and then the preceding one will be able to be crafted. So let's say if you got Destina's and you didn't get the best roll, and you know that, okay, eventually you can craft an Alchemist Steeple, you do, for the time that this exclusive equipment is released, you need to farm multiples of it before a new one is available. I believe if a new one is available, these ones will be gone, but you can craft them later. So I think what you have to do is you have to farm a lot of them. Again, like I said, unless you get the exact stat, the exact skill you want, which is RNG on the initial purchase, but it won't be RNG on the craft. So when you craft it, you can choose the skill, but the higher grade, the higher the value of the stat. So basically, you just have to grind a lot, unless you get RNG. New things are coming. Yeah, so a lot of stuff is changing. So the regular training ground content with the limited challenges will no longer be available. So they're just listing out basically where they'll be located. So Malagoro challenge, Goblin challenge, they're moving to the side story as an event stage. Standard training ground, yeah, this is something about the reputations here. And then the special time limited artifacts will be obtainable via the challenges, will be released, and now you can exchange it for the Hall of Trials as temporary rewards. So once they are released, and if you have farmed, let's say like Destina's, like all of your heroes exclusive equipment, when these events are released, now you use the same currency, the Wisdom Gaze, to get them. So it's in a way it works the same as the way it did before. You farm a lot, but then you can eventually get them. At least it's not really RNG based in that sense. I kind of like that aspect. So you're not just like farming like, you know, thousands of energy to get like one artifact, because sometimes RNG just doesn't roll your way. I think that's, yeah, so that's it for this part. And then I wanted to combine it with the mining city icon preview. So I'm pretty sure by tomorrow's patch news, this kind of stuff will be already available. So we got a preview of course, like the story is expanding still, and we got some new heroes. They have a video below showing like gameplay, even though it's very, very laggy gameplay. It was really hard for me to watch the entire thing. It reminded me of my old videos when I recorded on Nox. It was really laggy. But basically we got to see the player use Vivian. So Vivian is an Earth Elemental Mage. They turned off the skills. Obviously, I think they wanted to keep a couple things like secret until her actual hero release. Her S3, the skills were turned off, but from what it looked like, it seemed that every time she did her S1, she had an increased combat readiness. Now, most likely it's not Mola Gorge, so there could be possible enhancement to that, the combat readiness. But from what it looked like when I was watching the video, it looked like about a 10% CR boost every time she did the S1. Seemed to be a single target damage, and then did a CR boost. And I'm not 100% sure, it might have been lucky, but every time she did the S1, it looked like she did a dual attack as well, but I highly doubt that's the case. That'd be pretty OP. Maybe it like, maybe it was, but it kept on looking like Destina doing the double attack, so maybe it's a dual attack based on the lowest HP hero, I don't know, lowest attack hero, I don't know, I'm not quite sure. But Furious looks like to be a Ice Ranger. Basically in the fight, the player fights Furious as the boss. Ice Ranger, don't know what his skills are like. I think they killed him before he did his S3. So again, you know, no preview on what the skill looks like, but it seems that at least for the bosses, and usually the bosses aren't, you know, a good place to speculate what the hero skills would be, because the bosses are usually, you know, have additional effects to their skill set. But But it seems that he had a AoE speed and crit buff, so crit rate buff with speed. And it seems like he had Dispel, but I'm not quite sure. So we'll have to see. So Furious and Vivian, they're gonna be coming for sure. Again, we don't know if Furious is gonna be a 5-star, 4-star. Most likely Vivian is gonna be a 5-star, based on Smilegate's reputation of making waifus 5-stars, and most likely she will be. Yeah, so the video is here. I mean, so if you haven't checked this out, go to the Stove page and check it out yourself. It's too laggy. I can't bear to watch it again. But yeah, it's quite interesting. So a lot of speculation, and of course these new characters will appear. Whether again they'll be playable characters. I think the one on the left, the one on the most left there, was previewed during the Smilegate, the Epic 7 Festa. I think she was previewed there, so people were speculating that maybe she's a playable hero. But you know, eventually like these NPCs or whatnot, they could potentially be you know, playable heroes anyway. So anyways, cool to have this preview. So I'm looking forward to the patch, definitely looking forward to it, with the new changes there. That was not expected, especially on this was not expected at all. But apparently yeah, people have been saying that Destina needs a buff, so this is a cool way to get her the buff she needs. And then for like other heroes that are not really relevant, like you don't really see them use that much, perhaps their new exclusive equipment will be useful and you'll see them again. So anyways, I'm going to end this here. So if you guys have Discord, check out the Discord server, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to YouTube if you haven't. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next Reading Between the Lines.